How is everyone doing today? I wanted to share some insight into why I've decided to make these audio videos pertaining to Sasa Ray and her situation. I am from a generation, and I'm not sure if it's about generations or if it's cultural. It may be cultural, but I am from an era, a culture where we all looked out for each other, right? Example, my being a little girl, I remember if my parents were out and about working or doing whatever they were doing, that my parents were able to be able to do whatever they needed to do and not worry so much about the children. Why? Because there were extended family, and that extended family would be the neighbors, right? So let's say my mother was inside making dinner, my dad is at work, I'm outside playing around. My parents will put boundaries. The boundaries may have been something like this: you can't go from stop sign to stop sign. Stop sign to stop sign is the farthest you can go. Do not go past those stop signs. So we were able to play in certain areas. There will be boundaries. The older we became, the farther away the boundaries became. You know, they would allow us to go farther and farther and farther away from the house. But when we were younger, let's say my parents say, okay, do not go past Mr. Johnson's house. Do not go past Mr. Johnson's house. So let's say we're playing kickball in front of the home and the ball happens to roll on the opposite side of Mr. Johnson's house. I look around because I know I should not go past Mr. Johnson's house. Right? I'm looking around to make sure nobody sees me. I run, I go and get the ball, and Mr. Johnson happens to walk outside. Mr. Johnson sees that I'm past his house. I may only be a couple of yards past his home. It doesn't matter. Mr. Johnson knows that his home is my boundary. Mr. Johnson called me over. Come here, Bomb. Hey, Mr. Johnson. You know you're not supposed to be past my house. What's going on? Mr. Johnson, the ball rolled. I apologize. You know, for whatever reason, Mr. Johnson decides that I shouldn't have went past his home. I didn't have a valid excuse to be past his home. So Mr. Johnson tells me to go home. Go home to your mother. I don't want to go home to my mother, but guess what? Mr. Johnson is extended family. Mr. Johnson has the right to tell me what to do. And so Mr. Johnson told me to go home, and guess what? I may be mad, I may not like it, but I'm going home. And I'm going to pray that Mr. Johnson don't call my parents and let them know that he had to send me home. That's why I'm not going to roll my eyes or do anything to get Mr. Johnson angry. I'm just going to say, yes, Mr. Johnson, and I'm going to go home. Because if Mr. Johnson calls my parents, or if he happened to run into my parents, whenever, it doesn't matter if it's a week later or a month later, if he have a conversation with my parents and let them know that he had to discipline me at any time, now I'm in trouble again. Because now my parents do not like the fact that I did something that made someone else have to discipline me. You see what I'm saying? So I guess what I'm saying is that we help each other. So when I see a young lady doing something or a child doing something, I'm one of those parents who will, I'm there to help. Another example that happened to me as an adult is that I saw a young child. I'm talking about, this baby had to been about 4 years old. The baby's out there with his other younger siblings, and I'm talking about the oldest is probably 8 years old. So we have a 4 year old, a 5 year old, 6 years old, and an 8 year old, and they all outside running in the streets and everything, right? And then the older kids are playing hide go seek, and this baby is pretty much just trying to keep up, not really keeping up. And the kids, kids are kids. I see this young 4 year old in the middle of the street, and there's a car. I scream, "Whoa, get that baby, I'm like, get that baby." Okay, it seems like I know I didn't do anything wrong, right? I'm thinking, okay, somebody got the baby is out of the street, all well said and done, everything's okay. I get a knock at my door maybe a half hour later, where they want to know why I was screaming at their children. I don't know what the hell she's talking about. What do you mean I screamed at your children? The children told me you screamed at them. I have to inform this woman who isn't taking care of her children, who do not have anybody in the neighborhood who's on her side because of her attitude. And she has the nerve to want to know why I, screamed in fear to let people know that the baby is in the street. Are you kidding me right now? This is the type of parents that we have out here, and they happen to be single women. And they really don't want anybody to help them. And that is the difference. That is the problem. See, there's a lot of you all who you say, look, I had a single mother, and my single mother raised me. She raised me well. I'm doing well for myself. I think she did an awesome job. But if you sit back for a moment and actually think, you'll realize that she had help. She had the neighbors who she was able to trust. You had extended family. You had uncles and aunts. You know what I mean? We had other people looking out for us, and we were looking out for each other. And that's why a lot of, of us came out okay, even being with single parents, being raised by single parents. But now we have these single parents out here who straight up want to fight in the street like they're men. Therefore, they don't have anyone. They're nasty and mean and angry. And that's why they don't have anybody helping them. You young ladies out there who are single parents, listen to me when I say I don't think that you're a bad parent because you're a single parent. But understand that even two-parent homes need help and assistance, because we cannot have our eyes on our children 24/7. So basically what I'm just saying to everyone is the reason why I'm reaching out to this young lady is because I feel like right now she's in the middle of the street with nobody to help her get out of the street, and cars are heading directly at her. It would be a massive wreck if she doesn't decide to, first of all, become an adult to where nobody needs to tell her to get the hell out the street, or if she doesn't decide to accept the help of a few people coming toward her and guiding her out of the traffic. Okay, so that's basically all I'm saying. And listen, I do want to say this because I don't want to make this long. That if she decides to do what she needs to do, then I'll stop making these things about her. You all need to be trolling this woman. And when I say trolling, I mean you need to be there and do not give up. Tell her she needs to go to the doctor to take care of her and that baby. This woman has admitted to not going and get prenatal care. And this is something, the first trimester is the most important. That is why they give you those vitamins. It's the most important for the baby. Everything that could be going wrong with that child could be happening now to where it's irreversible thereafter. She thinks she could get prenatal care towards the end of the term of the pregnancy and everything will be okay. Who thinks that way? Only somebody who's not in their right mind or somebody who's mentally ill. Ladies, stop holding this girl's hand until she does what she needs to do. That's all I'm saying. I'm out of here. This 10 minutes into this thing already. Everybody have a great day. Peace. I'm out. One love.